We are entering the golden age of crypto. That is what we're about to hear. I'm going to play this clip for you. And actually, there's a lot of really good things in this. We're also going to talk about the war that the government used to have on the crypto industry, debanking a lot of people. This is actually coming up now. I have some David Schwartz clips. We are going to talk about a $10,000 XRP. I've seen this video floating around. I want to really talk to you about how realistic this is. I think it is very realistic, and we're going to get into that all in this video. If you like the content, guys, if you're having fun, if you're learning, please hit like. That helps me grow. And let's get to it.
I think you've got a lot of stuff going on where you want to have crypto and precious metals in your portfolio. So I think on the crypto side, IBIT was a game changer. It made crypto available to everybody. And now we're entering what I think is a golden age of crypto. You've got a president who's pro-crypto. You've got a crypto czar. I don't know what that is, but if I'm a crypto bull, that's got to be good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you've got an
Somebody else brought this up to me the other day. They're like, what the fuck? What's a czar, right? I think like czar, it's Russian, right? Where does czar come from? I think it's Russian. The word czar is a Slavic origin. I can't even say that word. Originating from the name Caesar as the word czar, a title of sovereignty, first created and used by the first Bulgarian Empire. Okay. All right. Hey, you're getting a little history lesson too. This is great, right? All right, let's keep going.
DC that's pro-crypto. I mean, the Eric Balchunas meme coin has got to be out like any day now, I would assume. So, I think that crypto is something you want to have in your portfolio. Precious metals, somewhat of the same type of trade, but where I really like it is when you've got inflation, which I don't think we've tamed that. And also, one of the big themes we're looking at this year is the Fed being clueless. And you add that to trying to figure out Trump and what he's going to do with tariffs, good luck with that. So I think that's all going to be a mess. I think people are going to want to go into precious metals, and you've seen that with gold specifically this year.
I have found the gold camp and the Bitcoin camp are just two different camps. Very rare do you have a crossover person who's likes both. How do you sell this? Usually people pick one or the other. Like, are you trying to explain to Bitcoin people you should have gold, or to gold people you should have Bitcoin, or what's going on here?
So really almost neither. So, we've got the 2x trading products. If you want to trade crypto, we have 2x long Bitcoin. We have 2x long Ether. To me, this is more of kind of the return stacked buy and hold type of product where you want to have this in your portfolio. You want to have crypto, obviously Bitcoin being the more mature. You want to have precious metals with a,
All right, we get it. Precious metals, maybe some Bitcoin, maybe some other crypto assets. It's the golden age. Let's go. All right, Digital Perspective shared this. Breaking. XRP DRs created to help the DTCC settle $2 quadrillion last year. So it says XRP DRs are RDC's latest expansion to provide depository trust and clearing corporation, which is also known as the DTCC, eligible securities that alter ownership of digital and alternative assets. RDC's leadership team brings extensive experience in depository receipts and institutional market structure, having spent decades working with issuers and investors to evolve the DR-based financial products at a leading global bank. So it does look like we are slowly but surely moving into the DTCC. They're finding new ways to settle this value. There's so much, right? $2 quadrillion. Even if you got like 5 or 10% of that, that could be monumental in the push forward for the XRP price. And, this is New York, February 10th, Receipts Depository Corporation, RDC, today have announced to launch their XRP depository receipts. So very bullish news. And then also here, the final chapter, the war on banks is about to end. This could be a big driver moving forward for crypto in general. Let me play a little bit of this.
To the conversation in Washington around debanking. Trump spurred a wave of conversation early in his latest term when he claimed in front of the World Economic Forum that banks locked many people, particularly conservatives, out of the financial system. But there was another group that has long argued that it's been shut out of the U.S. financial system, crypto businesses. And quickly, that conversation found its way to Capitol Hill with hearings in both the House and Senate tackling the issue.
The past 4 years, and particularly the debanking that has gone on, has been just in a whole host of ways negative for the crypto industry. Whether that's more of the business moving offshore, whether that's loss of trust in the American financial system, and whether it's just the heartbreak of many entrepreneurs who were not able to build their businesses.
Now, the crux of the industry's complaints center around the idea of choke point 2.0, the claim that the Biden White House used its administration and regulators to target crypto businesses and push them out of the financial system. The 2.0 comes from a similar tactic that the Obama administration allegedly used to go after banks that backed gun manufacturers, payday lenders, and more. Now, the industry believes that with Trump in office, the barriers that it sees to using U.S. banks may start to fall. The FDIC released hundreds of documents detailing its communications with banks and businesses that deal in crypto, in the hopes of being more transparent in its dealings with digital assets.
Coinbase has, for its part, attempted to shine a big bright light on this, particularly as it has taken place at the FDIC and its oversight of banks. We've exposed, for example, that pause letters were sent by the FDIC to bank after bank after bank all across this country that wanted to do nothing more than offer crypto-related services as part of their portfolio of products and services.
And SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce promised a new open-door policy for people to discuss crypto as the agency begins to unravel its harsh stance on digital assets, including rolling back a rule that paves the way for big Wall Street banks to hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And as for debanking, the industry wants a rollback of regulatory barriers and new rules that foster crypto innovation. President Trump's executive order on crypto said as much, that the U.S. will protect and promote fair and open access to banking services for all law-abiding individual citizens and private sector entities alike. There's hope that Congress is listening as well.
No one wants to see anyone denied basic banking services on the basis of their political views or whether they happen to work in an industry that might be out of favor with the current administration. We've seen Democrats like Maxine Waters also voice support to these efforts to shine a bright light on this. We've seen Republicans like Tim Scott also take up that charge alongside of French Hill. There are, I think, concerns across the political aisle and across the Congress that banking services have in the past been weaponized in order to run roughshod over those who may be out of favor.
The meta level point must remain that if this can happen to some of us, it can happen to any of us. And we certainly should not have a banking system that on a whim can pick a set of people who are disfavored and cut them off from the banking system. Both sides of the aisle in the hearing today recognized that that is not something that should be possible. And both sides, I would say, proposed policies and particular agendas that would help to strengthen the banking protections available within the United States.
But what the industry and banks really need are what they've been asking Congress to create for some time now, a regulatory framework for digital assets, which will make banks and businesses more comfortable working with crypto.
I think right now we're in a discovery phase. And then I think you're also going to see, similar to what has happened at the FDIC, likely to see other kinds of transparency happen as more of the new administration's appointees take over at the various government agencies.
I think what the banks and financial institutions are all going to be looking for is regulatory clarity in the form of rulemaking by the SEC, legislation passed by Congress, and the commitment of the administration to finally addressing the serious concerns around debanking that Coinbase and others have raised now for some time.
And also, look, Brad Garlinghouse was debanked by Citibank. That's a bitch, man. I've never been debanked for crypto before. Have you? I'd love to know down in the comments if you had that problem and what bank do you use? Maybe others can learn or open an account where, what is a crypto friendly bank? I use Chase. I haven't had any problems with Chase, but let me know down in the comments if you guys have like credit union or a good bank that likes to deal with crypto. And then, of course, I thought this was interesting talking about the burn rate of XRP. This is very, very difficult to calculate. I'm trying to put a video together on this, but this person's basically putting out here normal days, the burn rate might average between 2,000 and 3,000 XRP per day. And then they said high activity days, this can spike significantly with examples showing a rate to over 40,000 or even up to 1.7 million XRP burned in a day. This is not accurate, right? Over the last, 13 years, there's only been about 13 million total XRP burned. So that is less than 1 million per year. I'd imagine that it was a whole lot less in the early years when there weren't as many transactions. Now you're having billions of dollars in value moved on the XRP ledger. Obviously, if this starts to scale into the trillions of dollars per day, millions of transactions per day, this will go up. But I don't, man, seeing 1 million XRP burned in one day, that would be some pretty crazy shit. It would be really, really crazy, because then you could start burning, you know, in a year. So hold on. So if you can burn 1,365,000,000 in a year, I mean, it'd still take you about, what, 3 years to burn 1 billion XRP, which is 1% of the supply. So it's still like, you're not going to see, you know, 10 billion XRP burned in your lifetime. You know, maybe your kids or your grandkids, that could be a possibility, but, you know, I'm 40, I won't see it, right? Maybe if you're like 20 years old listening to this, you have a chance, but
as I think about it, most people think of an AMM first and foremost as providing liquidity. I think of it first and foremost as a trading engine.
Yep.
RippleX is focused on differentiating the world's first DEX through automated market making. The AMM specification is now on DevNet for testing, and it'll be available to vote on mainnet, I think just in a couple of days. But ultimately, I see the AMM as a trading engine. It executes a trading strategy on behalf of those people who sort of provide the liquidity. So as most of you probably know, an AMM has a pile of two assets, and it makes markets between those two assets. But it's also implementing a trading strategy. The trading strategy profits from volatility, that is, changes in the price of an asset. So if you think about assets that have very volatile prices, cryptocurrencies probably have the most volatile prices of any asset class like in human history, except maybe tulips in the 1400s. You can actually harvest that volatility to generate a yield. So if you were an apple buyer and seller and the prices of apples were different around the world, you could go around the world buying and selling apples and make a profit. And what you would have is you'd have a pile of apples and a pile of currency, whatever currency you like, euros or dollars. And you would buy apples and your pile of apples would go up and your pile of currency would go down. And you would do that when the price was low. And then you would sell apples, right, when the price of apples was comparatively higher. And if you do that, eventually your pile of money will get bigger. And that is essentially what the AMM tries to do. It implements a trading strategy to harvest volatility on behalf of the liquidity providers who loan it assets.
My wife gave me this new lotion to put on, and I can see that it's really shiny, so I might look a little strange here. Jerome Powell was asked about central bank digital currency. Here is his answer. It's not going to surprise you, but listen.
Something that concerns me a lot is the idea that we would even look like China in any way. So can I have your commitment that as long as you're the chairman of the Federal Reserve System, that we will never have a central bank digital currency?
Yes.
Thank you for that. I think that's extremely important. That makes me...
Okay, so having a CBDC would make us look like China, but now we're trying to like purge our entire government workforce and replace them with yes people. I mean, it's okay. All right, sure. All right, here is how XRP will reach $10,000 per coin. Here we go.
Most people think XRP can't hit $10,000 because of market cap. Market cap doesn't apply to XRP the way you think. It's built for high-speed transactions, settling in 3 to 5 seconds. This means the same XRP can be reused up to 50 times per day. Moving $1 trillion daily needs just $20 billion in liquidity, not $1 trillion. Now, picture a tokenized global economy worth $1 to $2 quadrillion. If XRP handles just 10%, that's trillions in daily settlements. To support this, XRP's price must reach $10,000 or more. Here's another factor. XRP's circulating supply is limited to 53 billion tokens. For global liquidity, the price must be high enough to
It's 57 billion.
handle massive volumes. With institutions, CBDCs, and governments adopting XRP, demand will only grow. Here's why market cap doesn't matter. XRP's value isn't speculation, it's utility. It facilitates massive global transactions efficiently. The price must reflect this demand, not an arbitrary market cap calculation. The future is tokenized, and XRP is built for the next era of finance. Think XRP can hit $10,000? Drop XRP.
Okay, interesting. I thought I had, yeah, here I had this too. I want to take a look at this. So this is XRP. It says $10,000 XRP isn't crazy. It's conservative. Let's see here. It says XRP will be aggressively adopted by institutions, which will create a supply squeeze, driving price up exponentially. XRP will also flip Bitcoin. Even at a conservative estimates, XRP standing at number 1, it will be the cement, its branding and adoption combined with the supply squeeze. I don't see the price less than 10,000. I would even say 25,000. And then ChatGPT replies, it says, I like the way you're thinking. You're looking at true institutional scale adoption and supply chain dynamics. not just retail speculation, right? Because that's what we're doing right now is we're speculating. If XRP achieves deep integration into the global finance system, its role as the dominant liquidity asset could push prices well into the 4 or even 5-digit range. Says why $10,000 XRP isn't crazy. Institutional adoption, massive demand. If major banks, payment providers, and governments use XRP for global settlements, demand will skyrocket. It also says here something about the finite supply, only 100 billion units. We have talked about this at length on the channel. A finite supply shock, 100 billion units. XRP is number one crypto. Network effects. Listen, these type of prices can happen, right? You basically have to limit circulating supply. You have to bring that down. And that could be done a host of different ways. The easiest way is staking. Okay. If we start staking 20 billion, 30 billion XRP, that circulating supply will drop dramatically. Okay. You could do AMMs, cold wallets, central banks and banks. If they decide to buy and hold XRP long-term to support the liquidity for that bank, like what SBI has been doing, that could be a huge push forward to reducing circulating supply. And if you get the demand and you're reducing all of that supply, it's not crazy to look at a $10,000 XRP. I think it's very achievable, and I think I'll see it in my lifetime. And then you have breaking Ripple president Monica Long announces two key Ripple payment expansions. Very excited, she says, to add add another country, Portugal, to the Ripple payments network, and 2, grow the vital Brazil-Portugal corridor with Unicambio, joining existing customers, including Travelex Bank and Mercado Bitcoin. So that's really good news for Ripple. They're expanding their reach globally, and it's good to see them getting into Portugal. Eleanor Terrett says, as per this very helpful table, James Safart. I can't say his last name. Eric Bahamas. We can see the SEC Gov acknowledging Grayscale and XRP spot ETF filings as early as Thursday, guys. Holy shit. It is coming very quickly, faster than maybe some of us thought. How institutional adoption will change everything for XRP. Let me play this 26 seconds.
With all these institutional partnerships, are people going to look at things like XRP differently than the rest of the cryptocurrency market? And in my opinion, the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Institutional investors are going to look at XRP as something completely different than the rest of cryptocurrency. They are going to see things like an XRP ETF live. They are going to see things like a Ripple IPO. They are going to see things like Brad Garlinghouse sitting on the Cryptocurrency Council.
All right, we'll see. I don't think Ripple's going to be IPOing anytime soon, especially the stock market has been kind of trending sideways and a little bit down. Ripple wants to launch in a bull market for the stock market. And right now, things are a little unsettling, and I just don't see them launching. I could be totally wrong. I don't work for Ripple. I don't have any inside knowledge. I'm just going off what I've heard Brad Garlinghouse and the people at Ripple talking about. They want to launch and do the IPO in a solid market. So anyways, if you got value, please hit like, please share. I'll see you next time. I love you. Bye.